Today, I want to talk about transitions, why moving to a new class, new teacher, or new school can take much more energy for neurodivergent children, and how we can support them to feel more confident in navigating that change. I'm Charlotte MacDougall, neurodivergent specialist, former school leader, and founder of Nurture and Thrive, where I help parents and schools better understand and support neurodivergent children and teens. Now, at this time of year, June, nearly July, many children are getting ready for September. So they have transition days, class swap days, looking at their new classroom, finding out who their new teacher is going to be in September, and finding out about what the new routines are going to be. For some, it's a completely new school altogether, and often there's excitement about what's coming next. But for many neurodivergent children, excitement and uncertainty can coexist together. And what we need to be mindful of is this: how much is that neurodivergent brain having to process around this change? Because transition is rarely just one moment or one transition day. It's often hundreds of tiny steps or tiny questions that the brain is having to manage all at once. Let me talk you through it.
So the first thing that we need to understand is this issue of understanding the invisible load. Our brains are constantly making predictions about what comes next. Now, we use routines, past experiences, and familiar patterns to help us understand what to expect and manage change. We all do this. Before going somewhere new, we might check the route on Google Maps, look at photos of the place, read information, or find out what parking's going to be like. We are helping our brain build a map to manage this unpredictability and uncertainty. Now, for many neurodivergent children, creating that map can be even more important. A new school year can mean processing, knowing where they're going to go, who will be there, what will the expectation be, what happens if something goes wrong, who can I ask for help, what will this new environment feel like to me? And there's a lot happening beneath the surface here. So the second thing that we need to do is create familiarity. And many helpful transition strategies work because they reduce the number of unknowns. So things like looking at photos, walking through a new route, or seeing a route to your new classroom, meeting the key adults that you're going to be working with that year. Actually having a physical map, it might be of the whole school for a senior school, but just a map of the classroom, a layout map, can be useful in terms of knowing where things are and where to go. Just understanding what the day is going to look like. And these things might feel small, but they reduce cognitive load, which means that we are freeing up more capacity for learning, building new friendships, and enjoying this new experience. And this is especially important because transitions also rely heavily on executive function skills that we know can be more challenging for neurodivergent people. So this is executive function skills around planning their day, organising themselves, remembering new routines and managing belongings, moving, transitioning between one classroom or one activity and the next. Now, for children with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and other neurodivergent profiles, those background demands take a lot of energy. So the third thing is all about building confidence through this change. As children get older, one thing I often see is that they might need support, but not want the spotlight on them. They might not want to draw attention to themselves. So they want things to feel manageable, but they also want to feel independent. And that balance really matters. So support works best when it protects confidence and dignity at the same time. Now, sometimes this means just sharing information quietly beforehand, making resources available to everyone rather than just a select few, and having a trusted key adult so that they know who they can go to, or perhaps even giving opportunities to visit a new classroom and a new teacher in advance when things are calmer. The goal here is helping children understand themselves and what they need, and reducing any shame attached to that, because this is all to do with allowing them to access their best selves and freeing up cognitive capacity to what really matters. So thinking through, what's going to help me prepare? What helps me feel regulated in this kind of situation? And what information do I need to feel safe, secure, and ready? Because transitions are going to happen throughout our lives. New places, new people, new opportunities, new jobs. And an understanding what supports you through change is a life skill that neurodivergent children are going to be able to carry with them.
The key point here is that transition is not just about one change in itself. It's about everything that brain is having to process around that change. When we understand that, we can support children to build confidence, independence, and self-understanding in how to manage that. Now, that is how we change the narrative from what could potentially be seen to be wrong to what's very much possible for young neurodivergent minds. Now, if you found this explanation helpful, you can find more articles and resources at my Nurture and Thrive website, www.nurtureandthrive.co.uk. You can also join my ND Notes newsletter, where I share weekly insights for supporting neurodivergent children and teens. You're also very welcome to download my free guide on supporting neurodivergent confidence. It shares simple ways to start building a more positive sense of self for our young neurodivergent people.